In 1950,
I love her.
the Austrian government passed out pamphlets that said, Krampus is an evil man. The idea that they spent actual government money to print out real pamphlets about a half-demon, half-goat demigod is some Hercules shit, and I am here for it. I wish everybody took mythology this seriously. If Proposition Beware of Loki the Trickster isn't on the next ballot, I denounce democracy. Honestly, that's not too far-fetched. I'm moving to Austria where they believe in the true spirit of Christmas, which apparently is a demon goat eating your
as soon as she came on the screen, I adore her. I'm like, oh, I love your energy. We would drink hot chocolate together and talk about these cool things. That's hilarious to me. I love how mythology kind of was used to make sure people played by the rules, especially kids. Like, there is no better way to stop a kid from doing something annoying or stupid by being like, there's an evil monster who will get you in the closet, so don't go in the closet because that's where I go to hide from the kids to read books and drink a glass of wine, okay? Good.
A couple of years ago, there was an influx of Syrian and Afghan refugees to the Alpine towns of Austria that happened to coincide with the Krampus festival. Understanding that some of the Krampus imagery can be, just straight up horrifying, the locals decided to educate the refugees about the history of Krampus. Instead of building a wall around the refugees, the townspeople gathered to share their culture with their new incoming neighbors. And that's a pretty beautiful thing.
I agree. That is the spirit of Christmas. The spirit of Krampus, too. Actually, it kind of is, because Krampus is supposed to be like an evil dude. But that's actually really nice. I think we should all be sharing with each other as much as we can. It's a tough world out there, so absolutely.
As Christianity took over the region, Krampus wasn't forgotten, but rather altered to match changing customs. No longer thought of as a pagan tradition, he was given chains to show the devil being binded by the church. Soon, Krampus was attached to Saint Nick as a Christian saint and the owner of his very own feast day or celebration on December the 6th. Saint Nick himself wouldn't closely be associated with Christmas until the early 19th century, with the name Santa Claus coming from the Dutch of the protracted words for St. Nicholas.
That one picture just really freaked me out there for a second. Ugh, what is it? Poor goats, man. Like, they just have horns and they're like, what's up? This doesn't make us evil. But it's just funny to see, like, there's the god Pan who's got horns and he's a horny dude, and then there's Krampus who's evil, and then there's Satan who also has horns. Like, just all these images to do with horns coming out of your head.
In Tyrol, the state in Western Austria, Krampus tends to look like a giant sadistic teddy bear. In Western Germany, he actually arrives with Santa, sitting shotgun in his sleigh. In Styria, southeast Austria, the birch sticks used for his whip are painted gold and displayed year-round to remind kids of Krampus's impending arrival. According to Al Ridenour, director of Krampusfest LA, and in an article he wrote for Atlas Obscura, this is due to the region's isolation and each community's interpretation of Krampus.
I love that that was almost a depiction of the fact that, like, Krampus is almost like his helper elf. Like, he's like, hey, I'm after your job, Saint Nick. You know? He's kind of like, can't be making jokes, it's supposed to be serious. But like that's really freaky. Like, instead of coal, you're getting a demon guy. He'll steal you in the night.
Up in the Alp countries of Europe is where Krampus was born, or more accurately, where the legend was created. The word Krampus is derived from the Old High German word Krampen, meaning claw. According to Norse mythology, Krampus is the son of Hel, the goddess ruler of the underworld. There are also a few physical similarities between Krampus and Greek mythical creatures, like the horns and hooves of satyrs and fauns. Scholars estimate that Krampus started appearing around the 13th century, if not earlier, perhaps in the 11th century.
Interesting. That checks out for me. I mean, I feel like once we all kind of started blending together, and like religion started blending together, Christianity affected paganism and all that fun stuff, like some lore would kind of start to mesh. And so before I talked about how, you know, like there's the devil with the horns, Pan, satyrs, like all that stuff, they all have horns. Like, it makes sense that this image would kind of carry on, meaning something a little more sinister, so that makes sense.
A beast-like creature with fangs, fur, and horns, Krampus announces his presence with loud bells and terrorizes the kids who have been naughty during the year. While Santa gives the good ones gifts and joy, Krampus gives the bad ones with a whip made of birch sticks and horsehair, and also gives the kids nightmares. As for the really, really naughty kids, Krampus drops them in a sack or a wicker basket on his back and walks them away to his lair, which is, of course, the underworld, never to be seen again.
You heard it here first, kids. Behave yourselves this Christmas. Because nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants a birch stick whipping. I would have been quite happy with coal, but if I'm being honest, you know, like there are some really, really mean kids out there. Like, you know when you were a kid and you like sometimes you hear like what kids say to other kids, you're like, you're so mean, you know? Like at least when you get older you learn to hide it. It's a skill, it really is.
On December 23rd, 1934, right after the prohibition on Krampus began in Austria, the New York Times ran an article titled, "Krampus disliked in fascist Austria. Guino Black and Red Devil, symbol of Christmas fun, is frowned upon." Despite the inaccuracies in calling the genuinely evil Krampus Christmas fun, the article went on to claim Krampus was a socialist, which is why the Dolphus were quick to prohibit any traditions surrounding the beast.
Yeah, sure. If it's communist, ban it. That doesn't make any sense because you're kind of doing the thing you think you're afraid of doing. You know, it's a little bit, I don't agree. And also, I haven't seen a single red and white Krampus at all.
And retellings of Krampus have one thing in common: the demon's long, slithery tongue, almost like a snake. In some drawings, Krampus's tongue is seen reaching out towards children. There's no real reason for the tongue, save to further enhance the creature's terrifying look towards children. But the muscular organ has been attributed with a 12-inch length and can be used by children prior to doling out their punishment.
What? What? I can't get over the descriptors he used. The muscular, what was it, the muscular something, and like he would lick children? I don't know what's worse, the beating or the licking. I don't want to be licked by anyone in my life except for maybe my dog, but even I have limitations. Like, that's disgusting. I can't, okay, hey, actually, I did have a thought though. Serpent Tongues, the serpent in the Garden of Eden, crossing over with paganism and all this stuff. Maybe it's connected. This fear of snakes is transformed into evil people. Who knows? Who knows?
After the 1934 Austrian Civil War, Krampus received some attention by the authoritarian Dolphus regime. Though Krampus is generally agreed to be Germanic in origin, the Austrian Dolphus regime, under the Fatherland Front, prohibited any traditions that revolved around the Christmas devil. Krampus was banned under the regime and did not see a resurfacing until after the end of World War II. There is no recorded reason as to why Krampus was prohibited, but once the ban was lifted, Krampus returned in full force, though the traditions surrounding it would see some changes.
I gotta say, like, I understand the, like, wanting Krampus not to be involved with Christmas because he's terrifying. You know, like, all I want to think about in Christmas is, like, watch how many times I can watch Love Actually before I get sick of it, or how many times I can drink eggnog and get sick of it, or how many times I can see my family and then get sick of them. Kidding, I won't because I love them so much. But you know what I mean, right? I don't want to think about this demonic creature. At the same time, I don't think you should ban anything like that, especially. It's weird.
Krampus is best known as the Christmas Devil, a grotesquely demonic figure with horns and hooved feet that doesn't bring good tidings to you and your kin. Krampus is derived from the German Krampen, meaning claw, and is believed to be the son of Hel in Norse mythology.
I love how he says Krampus, Krampus, you know? What if, you know what this reminds me a little bit of? Is if like Nightmare Before Christmas went horribly wrong. Like even worse than I did in the film. You know how Jack Skellington was just like, you know what? I'm gonna give Santa a day off, and he was going in and he was gonna make everybody happy, and then he showed up and made them scared instead, and then found out that like his job is just to scare kids for the rest of his life. Like that would be how Krampus would feel, you know what I mean? Maybe he's proud of his job, maybe he isn't, we don't know. But you know, I kind of feel bad for the guy. People hate him, but I hope he's like, you know, got a soft side too. It's pretty tough to hang out with that all the time, you know? Imagine hanging out with that all the time as Santa Claus. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. That's all the clips we have time for today. I've been your host, Rachel Fisher, and until next time, guys, take care, stay scared, and happy holidays.
This one.
Krampus. Krampus. Oh, her again? Okay. You little evil elf. Sorry, Trish. Yes, we figured that out. Okay, I gotta say something about this. Hold on. I'm raining slow. I don't know what I was gonna say. I gotta react to that. Can I watch that again?